Hello everyone. Today we shall study chapter number 1 of class 10th economics textbook development. Before starting off with the chapter, we shall have a holistic view of what development actually means. I won't read in between the lines, but I would give you a whole overview of what the chapter development actually means. Look, for example, you all are in class 10 standard, but you might be thinking of which stream are you going to opt in class 11th so that your futures can be better. Some people might think of science because they want to become engineers and doctors. Some might think of commerce because they want to pursue bcom mcom or a ca. Okay, so development for everyone has a very different idea. No two people have same idea of development. What development might mean to you might not mean to me. For example, for me development might be pursuing higher studies, going to foreign or something, going to foreign to study further. And for you it might right now mean to pass on your class 10th with good marks and take admission in your respective class 11th and 12th standard. So what development basically means is to have a positive growth, and no two people, no two institutions share the same idea of development. Okay, now what development promises? Different people, different goals. Now depends development of people depends on their goals and their aspiration, what they want to be in their life. This defines what development is for you and for me, as I explained. Okay, now this is a man and he's telling to his child, you want a car the way our country is set up, all you can hope for is maybe to one day own the rickshaw you pull. Okay, so this man, the idea of development for the child is that when I grow up, I want a car. But that man is saying that that our country is set up in the way that you can't own a car. You will own a rickshaw when you grow up. Okay, now table 1.1, development goals of different category of person. Now as I said that no two people share the same idea of development. Okay, it will be illustrated in this table. First, category of person, and the other one is developmental goals and aspiration. Now, landless rural laborer, the idea of development for that person will be to have more days to work because agriculture is seasonal. On some days agriculture happen, on some days when sowing reaping takes place, but in between the days of interval they do not earn. So the idea of development will be for a landless rural laborer will be that there should be more days of work so that they can get their wages. Okay, now prosperous farmers from Punjab. Farmers from Punjab are comparatively quite rich. Okay, that is why the term prosperous is being used here. Assured a high family income through higher support prices for their crops and through hard work and cheap laborers, they should be able to settle their children abroad. As we all know, there's a fashion in Punjab for people to send their children to abroad. Okay, so the aspiration, the development goal of a farmer from Punjab will be to earn more money and to make their children settle abroad. Now we have to fill the rest of them except one. Farmers who depend only on rain for growing crops will want to have own bowel or better facility for irrigation so that they can sow agriculture crops throughout the year and they would be able to make more money. A rural woman from a landowning family, might be her aspiration will be to settle in urban area because most of the rural people they want to settle in the urban area. This might be an aspiration for a rural woman. Look, this is a very conceptualized and a very generalized topic. The idea of aspiration or development might be different. We are just giving some of the things which might be in their mind. Okay, urban unemployed youth. Now here comes the word unemployment. So the idea of development for an unemployed youth will be to have employment, to have a job. A boy from a rich urban family, he's a boy from rich urban family, so his aspiration might be to buy a big car. Okay, own a big car, a big house, so that he can flatter because considering the fact that he's a rich boy, we would generalize that he had all the luxuries of life. So what he would want is to flaunt things. Now a girl from a rich urban family, she gets as much freedom as her brother and is able to decide what she wants to do in life. She is able to pursue her studies abroad. An Adivasi from Narmada Valley. Look, this is again a very generalized form which I'm talking about. Adivasis in a country and mainly in many part of the world, Adivasis are with different names are found in different parts of the world. Okay, they really don't want to mingle in the mainstream educated, so-called educated or cultural society. They are very much comfortable in the life they are living. Okay, so what they, but we as humans, we intrude in their society because we find rich source of resources, forest, wood from them. Okay, so their aspiration or development goal is for us so-called civilized people to be away from them, not to intrude and interfere their personal lives. Okay, now we have done this table. Let's move further. So two things are quite clear. One, different person can have different development goals, very true. And two, what may be development for one may not be development for the other. It may even be destructive for the other. Okay, we shall understand what this line means to say, the last line. Look, now this man in car is saying to this woman in a cloth hut, those people don't want to develop, means they don't want to improve, they don't want to grow in their life. But the fact is, from where the resources will come for the improvement. Okay, now income and other goals. Because seeking more income, one way or the other, people also seek things like equal treatment, freedom, security, and respect of others. Look, income invariably is one of the most important form of development. We need money. We need money to live. We need money to pay our rents. We need money to go to school. We need money for invariably everything. But development not only means having money, having a good income, but it also means end of discrimination. It means that we should be treated equally everywhere that we go in our country. Okay, it means to end discrimination between the higher caste, the lower caste, the rich and the poor. All these are important goals. In fact, in some cases, these may be more important than more income and more consumption, because material goods are not all that you need to live. For example, if we take example of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he fought to end discrimination between the lower caste and the upper caste. Okay, because he belonged to a lower caste family and he realized that they have been discriminated all through their lives, and he wanted a better thing for his community. What this paragraph means to say is development. If the question comes, does only development means to have a better income? No, development means to be having better income, better wages. We should be treated equally. We should be given equal freedom despite our genders, male or female. Okay, similarly, there are many things that are not easily measured, but they mean a lot to our lives. These are often ignored. However, it will be wrong to conclude that what cannot be measured is not important. For example, your friendship with your best friend can't be measured, but it doesn't mean that it's not important. It's equally important, and it's equally important for your development, because some way or the other you have moral support with your family, with your friends. Okay, consider another example. Now there is an example, and what this depicts is conflicting ideas of development between two person. Both of them are right on their own, but they have different ideas of development. Now for the first person, the idea of development is that he's getting a job far away from his family. Okay, and he is not willing to go, because for him the idea of development is living with his family and doing an okay job over there, rather than going for a job which is far better from the job he's doing. But for another person, a far off job which is paying very well is a better option. That person will opt for it. Both of them are right, but the idea of development goals for them is different. Okay, similarly, development people look at a mix of goals. Now for both of them, it is a mix of goals. It doesn't only depend, if I get a better income in London, okay, I'll go. For some people, this might be not a good opportunity. They might not think that this is something for me. Okay, hence developmental goals that people have are not only about better income, but also about another important thing in life. What are those important things in life? We have discussed. They are family, living with their family, having good friends, right to equality, right to freedom, okay, end to discrimination, and etc. etc. Now, national income. Like individual income, here comes a concept of national income. How do we compare countries? How do we say that USA is better than India? Okay, or India is better than Pakistan? How do we say that? we say that in terms of the comparison of the national income. Okay, it is very important to keep in mind that different person could have different as well as conflicting notion of a country's development. Look, some people might calculate country's income as, as an idea of development, but for some it might be how the humans over there reside. Okay, what rights do they get? This might be an idea of development. So national development, the idea of national development for some people, some prominent people, might be different. Okay, however, can all the ideas be considered equally important? Or if there are conflicts, how does one decide what would be fair and just path for all? Okay, so the middle path for all that we have taken out is, first we compare the national income and then we follow up the next step. Now on the next page, this is an article, and the article says that a vessel dumped 500 tons of liquid toxic waste into open air dumps in the city and in the surrounding sea. Okay, so because of this liquid toxic waste, the fumes of this liquid toxic waste, many people got ill, and they were shifted to hospital because of the fumes toxic, because the fumes were very toxic. Okay, and they inhaled the air. Okay, now at the end, what happened? A multinational company dealing in petroleum and metal had contracted a local company of the Ivory Coast to dispose the toxic waste from its ship. At the end, now this says the economical cost of development, the social cost of development. Okay, and it reflects that how much harm we are doing to the environment by doing this. Now, how to compare different countries or states? We read it. We compare different countries and state basically by the national income. Usually we take one or more important characteristic of person and compare them based on their characteristic. Now this is putting national income nations on par with person. For example, if you have to make a cricket team in a school, what qualities will you look for? You won't take any person like that. Okay, you will need certain characteristic on which you will jot down the points. Okay, and select the students. What might be those quality? Might be that 4 people should be good batsmen, or 4 people should be good bowler, something like that. All right, so the same way, when we have to compare different countries or state, we have to invariably take certain characteristic. For example, national income is calculated, then human development index is calculated. Human development index is published by United Nations Development Program. We have to remember this. This is a lifelong question. This is asked in many of the competitive exams as well. Okay, so we shall remember this. Human development index is published by United Nations Development Program. Now, for comparing country, their income is considered to be one of the most important attributes. Now, pay attention here. It is saying that for comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attributes, and not only income. There are many more attributes, but it is considered to be one of the most important, not the only one. There are many more attributes. Okay. Now, however, for comparison between country, total income is not such as useful measure. Since countries have different population, comparing total income will not tell us what an average person is likely to earn. For example, let's take a comparison between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, India is a big country and having many more people than Sri Lanka. Now, if we calculate the cumulative income of all the people in India and Sri Lanka, India will be having much higher income. But the fact is that it is not the right estimate. We don't get the right estimate because the population over here is much more. Might be that we are more, that the people earning might be more poor, but in the cumulative it will come to be more. So what we do for it is we take out the average income of different countries, of the countries that we want to compare. And how does we take out the average country? We take out average income of the country, which is the total income of the country divided by its total population, and by this we get the per capita income. Okay, what is per capita income? When we divide the total income of the country by its population, we get the per capita income. In World Development Reports brought out by World Bank, this criterion is used in qualifying in classifying countries. Countries with per capita income of US dollar 12616 per annum and above in 2012 are called rich countries, and those with per capita income of US dollar 1035 are or less are called low income countries. India comes in the category of low middle income country. Okay, we'll remember it that according to World Bank, India is a low middle income country. China, if we talk about China, it is a high middle income country. When it comes to USA, it's a high income country. Okay. Now, we talked about average income. Okay, income and other criteria. Now, when we look at individual aspiration and goal, we found out that people not only think of better income but also have goals such as security, respect for others, equal treatment, freedom, etc. in their minds. Similarly, we think of a nation or a region, we may, beside average income, think of other equally important attributes. Now, this per capita income of selected states. Now, likewise, we have per capita income of states like we have for countries. Now, there are three states: Maharashtra, Kerala, and Bihar. The per capita income of Maharashtra is the maximum, then comes Kerala, and then comes Bihar. Now, in table 1.4, some comparative data is given. We'll look at it. You don't have to remember these statistics or something. These are very old statistics. These won't be asked in the paper, but the definitions will be asked. Okay, what is infant mortality rate? Let me tell you. Infant mortality rate is a number of children that die before the age of 1 year as a proportion of 100 live children born in that particular year. Okay, the children who die before they become of 1 year, when before their first birthday. Okay, this is the infant mortality rate in Maharashtra. Despite having much more capita income than Kerala, the infant mortality rate is 25, whereas in Kerala it's only 12. It's half of Maharashtra, and in Bihar it's 43. Literacy rate in Maharashtra is 82 despite having more per capita income. In Kerala it's 94, and in Bihar it's 62. Okay, net attendance ratio per 100 people secondary stage, age 14 and 15. Now this is 2009-10 data. What is literacy rate? First of all, literacy rate measures the proportion of literate people in the 7 and above age group. Okay, above age group. And what is net attendance ratio? Is the total number of children of age group 14 and 15 years attending school as a percentage of total number of children in the same age group. The children who are attending school in that age group. Okay, in the age group of 14 and 15, secondary stage. Okay, now despite, look in this table, despite Kerala having less per capita income, Maharashtra is doing better at infant mortality rate and literacy rate. Why? Because in Kerala people are more educated and there are better public facilities than they are present in Maharashtra, and there's more awareness because people are more educated, so they know how to take advantage of the facilities that are present in their state. So this is not important that any country which is having a per capita income more than your country is better. No, in no ways it's not better. Just having more income than you doesn't mean that they are better. Public facilities. Now, what do you mean by public facilities? Public facilities is specifically those facilities that are provided by the government at subsidized rate, we can say. For example, you might know that going to a government hospital is not as costly as going to a private hospital. Going to government school might not be as, costly as going to a private school. So the same way, money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you might need to live well. Now, what does this mean? This means that, for example, you are a person who is living and earning in Delhi. You are earning very well. You are earning in lakhs. But you are not feeling well due to the pollution of the place, due to the pollution in Delhi. So you can't buy atmosphere with the money in your pocket, no matter how many lakhs you are earning. You have to adjust in that atmosphere only if you want to earn that much. Okay, so what this means to say is that money cannot buy everything, and this you need to implement in your life as well and remember. Okay, now Kerala has a low infant mortality rate because it has adequate provision of basic health and education facility. Similarly, in some states, the public distribution system functions well. What is public distribution system? Have you heard the local name ration? Ration ki dukaan? It is public distribution is a system by the government where you get subsidized food grain at lower prices, rice, wheat. Okay, so now you might know that public distribution system is kind of corrupt because the people owning them, what they do is they don't give the amount they are meant to give to the poor people. They deviate it to the market and take money from the market, more money from the market. But always remember, where there will be educated people, they won't be able to fool them. The public distribution system owners won't be able to, they won't be able to get corrupt because the awareness among the people is more in the area where people are educated. And when you will get adequate food to eat, the nutrition level itself will be high. Okay, now this is human development report which I talked about. Human development report is published by United Nations Development Program. Okay, there's nothing more to discuss in it, nothing important than that. Activity 3. Now in activity 3, what is given is that if you want to find that a person is undernourished or not, if he's a sufferer of malnutrition or not, an adult person we are talking about, this is not applicable to young children. Okay, what we do is we calculate the body mass index, body mass index. And how do we calculate it? We take the total weight of a person, we divide it by their height, and if it is less than 18, that means that the person is underweight and undernourished. Okay, and if it's more than 25, that means that the person is obese, he's overweight. And between 18 to 25 means that the person is under accurate scenario. Now some data regarding India and its neighbor for 2013. This is gross national income of some of the countries. This is not really that important because it is a very old statistic. It's, I guess, 2011-12 statistics, and now things have changed. India in human development index is in top 60-70, so this makes no use. Don't study it. Isn't it surprising that a small country in our neighborhood, Sri Lanka, is much ahead of India in every respect, and a big country like ours has such a low rank in the world? Now the scenario has changed. We have become much better. Many improvements have been suggested in calculating SDI, and many new components have been added by Human Development Report. But prefixing human to development, it has made it very clear that what is more important in development is what is happening to citizens of the country. इट इज़ पीपल, देयर हेल्थ एंड वेलबींग दैट इज़ मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. देखिए, किसी भी कंट्री में, in every country, the most important thing is the health, the well-being of the citizen of the country, because when we'll have good healthy human beings, citizens, then only they'll be able to produce a maximum output to generate income in the country. Sustainability of development. Sustainability of development means, what is sustainable? We should use the resources which are present in the environment, but we should use in a sustainable way. We should not waste them. For example, you would have heard that don't waste water. This means use water but sustainably. Okay, now this is an example, groundwater in India. Now, as we all know that groundwater in India is receding. It's getting less, and groundwater is a renewable resource. Always remember, it's a renewable resource. Resources are qualified into two: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Now renewable resources are the one which can renew themselves, and non-renewable resources are the one which cannot renew. Once they get over, they get over. For example, crude oil. Okay, oil, petroleum, they are buried deep inside the earth. We extract them and they take million of years to form, so nobody is going to live for million of years, so we consider them as non-renewable. But groundwater, because how do we get groundwater? It rains, it penetrates into the soil, and it gets accumulated at the bottom of the ground, and that is how we dig it. This is how we dig groundwater. Okay, so groundwater is a renewable resource, but there have been reports that the groundwater is receding, it's getting below the table. Why? because we are not using it sustainably. We are using it haphazardly in our livelihoods, in our agriculture. And always remember, it takes time to renew. It takes time to renew. We are using it more than it is able to renew itself. So it is receding at a very fast rate. Renewable resources and non-renewable resources are very important. You just have a clear vision of what renewable and non-renewable resources are. Non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after years of use. We have a fixed stock on earth which cannot be replenished. We do discover new resources that we did not know of either. New resources in this way add to the stock. However, over time, even this will get exhausted. Exhaustion of natural resources. This is our table that in Middle East reserves are 808.5 and number of year it will last is 78.1. Okay, for Middle Eastern countries are basically Iraq, UAE, Syria, Saudi Arabia, the oil owning Islamic countries, United States of America. It has 44.2 reserves and it will last for 12.1. But this statics would have changed because USA right now has a maximum amount of oil. So they have discovered that they have the maximum amount of oil. And the rest of the world, it will last for 53.3 years. So basically, oil is a non-renewable resource, so it is going to end. Okay, and even it causes a lot of pollution. Now, consequences of environmental degradation do not respect national state boundaries. Now, it is saying that when we degrade environment, because air circulates, it doesn't say stay static. Okay, air circulates. We are fueling the crude oil. We are making the country, the world more poisonous. More poisonous, as in these gases below a certain level, they are really poisonous. They cause nausea in us. They cause vomiting and stuff. Okay, this is saying that we, citizen of every country, we should get the point that we should not pollute the environment. This is for our betterment, all the countries. Okay, in general, the question of development or progress is perennial. What is perennial? Perennial is something that goes round the year. The opposite of perennial is seasonal, that it happens in certain seasons. Sweating happens in September, in summers. Okay, the same way perennial is something that happens throughout the year. That like the way that we have to study perennially, we have to study throughout the year. At all times, as a member of society and as individual, we need to ask where we want to go, what we wish to do to become, and what our goals are. So the debate on development continues. Look, even at this point of time, I'm thinking of what to do in life, what to study next. So this is what this chapter is saying, that the process of development never ends. It keeps on going and going. Now these exercises, we'll cover them in separate videos. If you want them, please write in the description box. And sorry for my stammering, I wasn't having specs today. I'll take note of it, and let's meet in the next video. Bye.